In this episode, Ryan will open your eyes to real entrepreneurship and financial engineering as he walks you through overcoming your biggest hurdle, money, as you think you need it. Ryan shows you how he's buying companies and commercial property without having to have any real money. This episode will show you some real-life deal structures that you can use right after listening to this talk. Visit www.propertycrashcourse.com to learn more. It's 100% free.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan's show producer Adam, and we want all these episodes to impact you the most to move the needle in your business. So, before we get into today's episode, let me share Ryan's backstory to give you the confidence you may need to apply these unlocks. Ryan Otto knew he was an entrepreneur since he was 11 years old. And since 2016, an ex-convict who lost everything after discovering his now ex-wife had had an affair, he lost his home, children, and all the wealth he had built up when he was sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison for a crime carried out by a lifelong friend, and found himself in maximum security prison alongside some of the country's most dangerous and high-profile criminals. He turned this horrendous negative situation into a positive one, trained to become a Samaritan, meaning his time in prison away from his family was spent helping other inmates who were contemplating and even had attempted suicide in custody. Ryan left custody with £175,000 worth of debt and has gone on to build a multi-million-pound portfolio in property, with his fourth hotel acquired since April 2020 during the pandemic and recession, with residential and commercial investment properties in the UK and Malta. Looking back, Ryan was nothing special. In fact, he was not academic in any way, and being a mixed-race teenager in a small town, crippled with dyslexia meant he was shy, and left school with more criminal records for petty crimes like joyriding fast cars and motorbikes than GCSEs. At 11 years old, he immediately knew that he was an entrepreneur when his mother took him to a Booker Cash and Carry in Hastings, and he discovered he could buy push pops in bulk, on his mother's account of course, for 5p and sell them for 50p, making a huge profit. His mother always said Ryan could sell their own sand back to the Arabs. In this episode, you will find value in a variety of talks, tactics and breakthroughs, strategies, unlocks and interviews around business, property investment, entrepreneurship, the hotel business and real life. It's these exact unlocks Ryan shares in these episodes that are responsible for turning his life around, and anybody listening to these episodes can do the same. It's taken Ryan 20 years of failures and success, cost him nearly 5 years in prison, to bring you these experiences that you will hear in these episodes. Please do spend the 60 seconds to leave Ryan a podcast review and a rating, because your review is the fuel that keeps Ryan delivering these episodes. Thank you.
I just want to share with you guys how there's so many different ways to buy a company or to buy a property or to buy a business where you don't necessarily have to have the money, okay? So I'm sitting in the traffic at the moment. I'm queuing to go into McDonald's drive-thru. So this is a quick episode just to share with you guys. Don't be held back by not having the money, okay? You don't actually need to have the money in your hand to buy a company, to buy a property, or even to buy a business. Let me give an example. There's a multitude of ways that you can buy a business, okay? There is so many businesses right now, bleeding cash, not even open. They're looking for ways out. They're looking to, I don't know, maybe they've had a good run for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and they just want to get out and get what they can now and just forget about it. Maybe they've had a good run and they won't open their doors again, okay? Now, that's up to you guys to find these deals, and trust me, there is a lot of them around. I purchased a business recently, which is an ongoing concern. It's a guest house, fully functional, up and running guest house. Now, it just needed some refinement, some things doing better, cut some of the losses, increase the cash flow, increase the prices of the room rates, restructure some things, and now the business is doing, on track for doing about 70 to 100% more revenue at the end of the first year. And that's with the pandemic, guys. I bought this hotel, I bought this business, this bed and breakfast during the lockdown, okay? So this can be done. Just to give you a quick example, there's a multitude of ways that you can buy companies or buy businesses, buy hotels, buy bed and breakfasts, okay? Now, you can just give them the money up front, or you can just delay them and give them the money at a later date, okay? You can also give them some shares in the company that you're buying from them, which will, of course, generate some money. You can take some debt on from them. They can lend you some money to buy their property, to buy their business, okay? You can also link some things to the performance. I mean, if you're going to build the business, retain some customers, increase the profits, and they can get some money back. It's called, or known as a term called an earn out, or deferred earnings, okay? To be totally honest, those are probably the main things that we look at. There's a multitude of other ways to buy businesses. There's also delayed completions and things like that at the same time. But there's many more tools and resources. Let me give you an example of one of these in action. I've got a deal on the table right... Actually, no. Let me talk about a deal that I've done. I bought a hotel, bed and breakfast, up and running, established business, okay? Now, the rent, if you're leasing that on a long-term lease, should be a certain amount. If you have a mortgage on the property, it should be even lower, okay? And then there's full repairing and insuring leases and everything else like that, which I won't go into in this episode. So, they needed a set figure. I didn't want to put any money down, so it's very, very simple. I literally put down around £2,000, approximately, to buy a hotel which is worth in the region of about 1.2 to 1.4 million. That's during the pandemic, guys. And all I did was paid more every single month over a period of around about 6 years, paying that debt off. Paying it off. That's it. It's very simple. You don't need to think about it in a very, very complicated way. Let's say a mortgage would be £2,000 a month. Let's say a lease would be £3,000 a month. Let's say I paid £7,000 a month. So that builds in the money that comes back to the vendor, or the money that comes back to the lessor, okay? So there's lots of different ways that you can structure buying companies, buying properties, buying hotels, buying bed and breakfasts, where you don't have to have the money up front, guys. That's one example of a deal that's, very profitable right now. We're in that deal. We're making money. The previous owner is making money. He's happy. We're happy. That deal worked for everyone. I have another deal on the table I've been working on for around about 6 months or so, maybe a bit longer. Been building the relationship and making sure, putting things in place so this deal can be done. And now we're at a point where we're ready to formalize some things. Now, this is an established high street estate agency with a letting department as well. Okay? Now, this company is turning over, over 7 figures a year. So it's in the millions, this company's turning over. And somebody just wants to leave the business and be paid, okay? Now, I don't want to give them the large 6-figure sum they want up front. Not because I haven't got it, I have got it. But when you understand how to structure finance, how to structure deals, when you're financially intelligent, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as, you do the next deal, then the next deal, then the next deal, you learn these things along the way. So financial literacy, that's it. Robert Kiyosaki taught me this in the year 2000 about leveraging debt and leverage and finance and banks and money and assets, good debt, bad debt, and everything else that goes with it. Anyway, I'm learning from every single deal that I'm doing. Now, this particular deal, I don't want to give the guy the 6-figure lump sum up front, which I have got, but I don't want to give it to him. When you know how to structure deals, when you understand financial engineering, when you understand how to structure deals and contracts, you don't physically have to put anywhere near as much money in as somebody else coming along for the first time, seeing a price tag and paying it. You don't need to do that anymore. When you structure them in this way, financial engineering, clever tactics, using particular deal structures where it's win-win for everybody, this is how you get to that position. Now, I'm just at McDonald's, so I'm going to put you guys on pause for 1 second. Hello? Hello? Hold on. I'm just at McDonald's.
Hello?
Hello? Okay, now I'm back. Okay, McDonald's ordered. I've just gone for a very, very simple quarter pounder with cheese because I'm having lunch soon and some friends and family coming round, and I don't want to go for the full meal because I do need to eat in about 2.5 hours. Anyway, I'll eat again. So, this particular deal, they need a six-figure sum. I don't want to give them a six-figure sum. They know that I don't want to give them a six-figure sum. So we're going to compromise so it's win-win for everybody. I will still give them the exact amount of money they're asking for, okay? But I'll just give it to them in a different way. My tactic is to give them a little bit up front, a little bit in the middle, and a little bit on the end. Now, when you're buying something like an estate agency, now, obviously there is contracts. Some don't have contracts. Some of their contracts have expired. Some deals are done on a handshake with the clients, I mean. So let's just say, some people don't come back to sell their property the next time round. The ones that normally come, one a month comes for, an estimation, gives them a ring and says, hello, I want to sell a property, boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, you can't have contracts with those people to say you have to come back every single time you need to sell. So this is part of like the goodwill, etc. So when you're looking at the numbers and they're saying, we've got this, we've got that, we own this, we rent that, we lease this, these are the clients, these are the contracts, these are the handshakes, these guys normally come back, these guys will normally just disappear after a while, and these normally come in general. These normally walk through the door. So we look at all of that and say, okay, some of the elements aren't tangible. Some of the elements can't be measured or recorded. It's just, if they decide to sell, they'll come in. If they don't, they won't. If they break the contract, they'll leave. If it doesn't get sold, there's no money. I'm back at the checkout again now. That's right, yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. That's great. Thanks. Brilliant. Okay, so sorry about that. Just paying for the McDonald's. Okay, so it's hard. You can measure the core, what's there, and put a value on it. What's tangible. But the things that you can't measure are unmeasurable. But someone wants a premium for them. Okay, we normally make or we normally turn over £250,000 a year on the maintenance, on the repeat customers who need to sell something else, on the commissions, on the kickbacks, on the legal instruction fees, on the broker proc fees. We normally earn about, £250,000 a year on all of those. Hello? That's great. Thank you. So, let's just say that, let's just say, they're asking for a premium for all of that by saying, well, they know my name. They know the name above the door. They know where we are in the city centre. These people will just walk in. I don't know who they are or when they're coming, but you're going to make money from them. So I want you to give me money because I know that they're going to give you money when they walk in because of the goodwill that I've built or because of where the office is, the estate agency, etc., etc. So for me, I can't give them money based on the what if, the maybes, the ifs, will they, won't they. It's not measurable. So you have to get to a position where, I don't want to overcomplicate this, you have to get to a position where you can place a value on it, you can pay them for it if you get money from it. So when you start to think about it like that, I will pay you if I get business or activity from it. Then everybody is on the same page. So when you separate the elements, this is a value for what you have. This is a value for the what-ifs that you believe you may have. It's like when somebody says, here's my garden, it's worth £6,000 now as a garden. If you get planning permission on that, it's worth 250,000. I want 100,000 for that bit of garden. You're fucking mad. These people are fucking crazy. It's a bit of garden. You can't place a value on the what if, might be, maybe. There's no fucking planning permission. That's loads of red tape and bureaucracy to go through. It's easier now, but it's still very, very difficult. And you might even get planning. So you can't place a value on it by saying, well, you get planning, mate. You can build a house there. I want $250,000, but right now today it's worth $6,000. So you have to work out an uplift. Say, I'll give you the $6,000 now if I get the planning permission, as you say, and it's a house of this square footage, semi-detached or detached or end of terrace, and based on what it's worth, I will give you a premium or an uplift of, I don't know, 10%, 15%, 25% on the GDV, for argument's sake, which is the new value that the property's worth, the land, once you've built it and then you've sold it, and then you give them a cut based on that. That's how some deal structures work. Okay, when you put this back to this estate agency, this letting agency, it's very, very simple. So I will be offering them money now, which is a small amount of money now. I will be offering them money in the middle. I'll be offering them money monthly, all linked to the performance, the retention of the customers. If they walk in and we earn X amount from each customer in the first, I don't know, 12 months or 24 months, I will then increase the upfront money I already gave you up to another 33%, for argument's sake, of the figure you're asking for in the first 12 or 24 months. Does that make sense? So it's now linked to the performance of the guesswork, or it's removing the guesswork with them saying, oh, but you'll earn £1 million from the people that come in. Okay, show me. When I get the million, I will more than happily give you 10%, give you $100,000. But I'm not giving you another $100,000 on that part, that element of the guesswork, with you saying, oh yeah, but you'll probably earn $1 million over the next year. That's just a fucking guess. That's just a stab in the dark. That's worthless. And unless you're some idiot, you're not going to pay for that. And then you'll be sitting there waiting in the office. No one comes in. You don't earn $1 million, and you paid an extra $100,000 on top of the upfront cost and the deferrals and whatever else you've paid, with someone just completely not walking through the door and you not earning any money. And the other element to this deal structure, there's three elements. One will be me giving them money up front, which is, let's just say they want $100,000. I'll give them, say, a third, $33,000 up front. I'll give them, say, a third, which is deferred. And I'll give them a third, which is based on earn out, which is what I just explained. If these people come in and I earn, I don't know, £100,000 a year from those additional people that come in, I will then increase I will and pay you £33,000. Let's just say they're asking for $100,000. Remember, I've given them $133,000 up front. I will give them the $33,000 linked to the performance, which is if those people come in, and then I will give them the other third, which is the other 33%, which is very simply a delayed payment. That's it. So you're getting a third now, third monthly, and you're getting a third as a delayed payment, whenever that will be. They may want it in a year. They may want it in 3 years. You may give them, I don't know, 5% interest on it, and they take it in 5 years. They may take it slowly. They may take it monthly. They may take it in one lump sum. So I hope you guys understand. I've just given you two examples. One business I've bought, another business I am buying, and that's two examples there right now for you guys to use. No money or low money or little money down or no money down to go and buy a house, go and buy a flat, go and buy a fucking hotel, go and buy a bed and breakfast, go and buy a fucking business, go and buy whatever the fuck you want that makes you money and brings more money into your household so you can have all the freedom, do whatever you want, have as much money so you are financially free, if that's what you're working towards. Anyway, I hope you got some value from this episode. I'm about to eat my quarter pounder with cheese. I would love to hear your thoughts.
He's a #1 Amazon bestseller. He's an NLP manipulator. He's a property course seller. He's a Lamborghini driving multi-millionaire property guru. Forget that same old boring I am me narcissistic podcast format, because nobody gives a fuck. This podcast is all about you. So I'm taking these few seconds to thank you for subscribing, to thank you for leaving your 5-star reviews, and thank you for sharing this show with all of your friends. My team and I will keep bringing you these episodes and answering all of your burning questions in my Facebook community group called Property Crash Course. If you can just keep telling all of your friends about this show.